Hello yet again, it's Damon with another rebooking series. Rebooking WrestleMania 19 this time, and as precedent, videos are getting more notoriety and popularity. I think basically more and more people say they like the WrestleMania 17, WrestleMania 18. And now we're entering the ruthless aggression era, the ruthless aggression era. And yeah, and I decided I'd do a bit, not different, but I mean, in my terms of booking, I want to add some names that basically were not that around or not that prevalent at that case. For example, there will be you'll see Sean O'Hare, you'll see a bit more of Sean O'Hare on that booking. So, but I thought my WrestleMania 19 might have been as up to snuff compared to WrestleMania 18, but boy, is it still good. Boy, is it still good. And yeah, I want to rectify some situation based the actual WrestleMania 19, which the reason I really like WrestleMania 19, it's in my top 10, but never my top 5 because as much as the match were good, and this is the problem with so many people talk about work rate, the match were very good. The results, though, a lot of them were questionable. Ray versus Matt Hardy, like you can have Ray win the Cruiserweight title that match. Like I know Matty too at V1, which was fun, but the first match just to me predicated Ray should have won. About the World Tag Team title match that was supposed to be in pay-per-view was pushed off the actual broadcast for the pre-show in favor of the Miller Catfight Girls. Rob Van Dam, you basically Rob Van Dam, Kane are put off the pay-per-view because of the damn Miller Catfight Girls. And you couldn't have RVD and Kane win the World Tag titles that night. I remember to this day, they lost not because of a foreign object, no, because Dudley's Bubba Ray Dudley, to be precise, jumped the ring while the referee wasn't looking and did that standard elbow drop to Rob Van Dam. And I think it was Sean Morley, Val Venus, pins RVD like there's nobody's business. Like, I don't know if it counted as RVD's WrestleMania streak, but to me, it should have just been RVD continuing his WrestleMania streak and winning the World Tag titles. And the fact RVD's in the World Tag Team title division was really ridiculous, especially at the time it was one show, one singles champion, because Triple H had to go over, butter. Because Triple H isn't even the best Triple H, and that would be Hollywood Hulk Hogan, butter. But yeah, I thought that was a lot of BS in that show. I mean, you had Benoit Guerrero in a triple threat tag team match, but the whole match was 9 minutes, and like you had maybe 3, 4 minutes of Benoit and Guerrero each. You had Undertaker in a boring handicap match. You had uh what else did you have? You HBK with Jericho, I don't understand. I would have Shawn Michaels win anyway, but Triple H beats Booker T after all those promos, and I send quotation mark promos. Like, I can understand you don't want to give Booker T a huge title reign. I get that. Hey, you have another pay-per-view next month. Give him the title now and take it away next month or in 2 months at Judgment Day. And nothing happened at Judgment Day 2003, so why not have taken it off the title for Booker T at that time? Why not? I just thought it was a ridiculous waste of time. And then you had Hogan vs. McMahon, but Hogan vs. McMahon is such something I would have done at a Madison Square Garden like a WrestleMania 20 if I were to do it. Sorry. There were so many things you could have done and you didn't. Again, questionable results. Great wrestling, questionable results. I wanted to rectify that. And I want to make sure there's around 13, 14 match as usual. If it's 2 nights, there's no excuse not to feature most of the card. Okay? There's no excuse to not have most of the roster on it. If you have like only the equivalent of 14% of your roster, like there were income taxes, I'm sorry, you don't know how to book. You only know how to book for some people, the others you don't, and you need new writers. Anyway, less on that rant, more on the task at hand. WrestleMania 19 Night 1 with the debut with the WWE Tag Team titles being on the line as the world's greatest tag team. Shelton Benjamin and Charlie Haas defend against Rhino and Tajiri and against the full-blooded Italians. I would have W. Benjamin and Alice retain the titles. That'd be number one. From Raw, because don't forget it's a brand split. From Raw, there'd be the Intercontinental title. It wouldn't be taken off in this case. The Intercontinental title would be on the line with RVD defending against Jeff Hardy. And since Jeff was already on his way out, I would have Rob Van Dam keep the title. Why not? It'd be a great match. Two guys with a storied rivalry dating back to SummerSlam, to Invasion 2001. Why not have a good match there? Yeah, it would be a spot fest, but who cares? I want RVD, Rob Van Dam. He hits 5-star frog splash. 12-minute match. It's over. In the third match of the night, you have Victoria defend the women's title against Trish and Jazz. And again, like the year before, Trish Stratus wins the women's title. In the fourth match of the night, he was supposed to be featured on the show, but he wasn't, and it was relegated to pre-show as well. I don't know, it's just a small-time wrestler. Oh wait, that's John Cena. John Cena, following his turn of attitude since Brock Lesnar F5'd him, and now becomes a serious rap dog, and he takes on Rikishi, the match he would have had the following SmackDown. And this is where John Cena would win by debuting the FU in 8-9 minutes. And it doesn't matter if they have a rematch at the following SmackDown. The following SmackDowns for the tournament, the number one contendership tournament, which Cena ultimately wound up winning anyway. Why not have Cena versus Rikishi at WrestleMania there? Like this, you could have two WrestleManias in a row where he FUs, or he does the AA if you prefer, on a big man. And I thought that would be impressive. So I've Cena there. In the fifth match of the night, it would have Christian, because I could tell Christian not being featured on that show was criminal. And even if it's not for a huge match, you could have Christian basically say he's not only the Peeps champion, he's basically the toughest guy there is all year long. And he would basically say, at one point, I'm that man. And after basically Goldberg disappeared for nearly a year after his loss to Stone Cold Steve Austin, you have Goldberg return at WrestleMania 19 and absolutely obliterate Christian. And as much like Christian should not stand a chance. It should be Christian that do his diving DDT, stuff like that. 1-2 kick out. I don't want him to hit the Unprettier, the kill switch for Goldberg kick out. There wouldn't be any of that. You would try the kill switch. Goldberg like pitched in the ropes, delivers a spear out of nowhere, another spear, a Thunder spear, just for fun, because you kind of established that Goldberg could win right away. And then third time, he thinks he's gonna do you think he's gonna hit the jackhammer yet? No. Christian is barely on his knees, barely getting on his feet, so it's like he just like shrugs his shoulder, he does a third spear, then the jackhammer 1-2-3. In the penultimate match, you have the world title. And again, this will be a triple threat match. It'd be Triple H defending against Booker T against Kane, because Kane also was screwed. Was screwed during that time because of Triple H. He couldn't have won the title No Mercy 2002, and since then was kind of seen as a goof. And I would have basically rectified this as in he and Booker T happened to basically either Booker T could win a battle royal in the last time in The Rock, Kane could win a mini tournament, and both of them challenged for the world title at WrestleMania. And it would seem like Kane would be on his way to win the championship. He would try to hit the choke slam on Triple H, and he does. But Ric Flair Evolution interferes. Batista hits Kane, let's say, with a sledgehammer, and like would lead to Triple H clotheslining Kane out, but leads to the Harlem sidekick, bookhand, arm hangover, and while Evolution is distracting Kane, Booker T pins Triple H to win the world title. So he did get his win over Triple H and fair and square. And you still have some Evolution drama afterwards. You wouldn't start basically the disbanding of the Evolution right away, but there's dissension. And Booker T can lose a world title back to Triple H in 2 months if you want to. And then at SummerSlam 2003, yes, SummerSlam 2003, Goldberg wins the world title. So yeah, everybody would get their sh time to shine, and everybody would look good, and Triple H gets to keep his seat. But for the main event of night one, there was no discussion about this. There was no, to me, debate about this. I said for the last Rebooking series that basically some WWE shouldn't have cheapened out on some contracts, and I would basically make sure of that. Why? Because here there's some stars I felt like should be a redo of this. Since the next year I don't think they'll be available, why not take advantage of the time now? And that to me meant that yeah, The Rock will tries to finish his trilogy against Stone Cold Steve Austin, but like many trilogies, sometimes you add more characters, and that's what we do. Because The Rock will face off against Stone Cold Steve Austin, against the Immortal Hulk Hogan, against Macho Man Randy Savage in a four-way match. Yeah, that'd be crazy to see this. Think about all of this. Like, just imagine the posters. Heck, some people might think I'm actually like, I must be delusional not to put it as the main event of night two. But I digress. The next night will be for the BB title. I would have Hulk versus Randy Savage versus Rock versus Stone Cold Steve Austin. It would lead because I felt like Savage still has some bad blood with Hogan. Hogan has some bad blood with The Rock. The Rock has bad blood with Stone Cold Steve Austin. The Rock basically wants to shut down Hulk Hogan after the controversial No Way Out 2003 finish. Hogan and Austin, the biggest money drawer, never faced off with each other. It's basically this. Austin is resentful against Savage for WCW because I think it was his last match in WCW which he lost. And Rock and Savage something. But anyway, all of these have great interaction and together I think it'd be a great mix. And yes, Mr. McMahon will wrestle, but he can have an appearance. And there's a funny part. He come in at the beginning of the match, and that's the only time he gets all four wrestlers gang up on him and basically beat him dirty. Like they don't. Basically, everybody hits their finisher to start the match on Vince McMahon. Like you have basically first he comes in, you receive the big boot legged up by Hogan. He receives afterwards as he stumbles back, he receives a rock bottom. Then they get him up for a stunner, and the top rope elbow by Savage. And that's when the match afterwards starts in. And later on that match, Roddy Piper makes an appearance. And what happened basically when Hogan is about to win against Savage, everybody's down, Hogan's about to win. He does the leg drop. Immediately afterwards, Hogan gets nailed in the back by somebody who happens to be Roddy Piper. Piper doesn't hit Austin or Rock because he has no qualms with them. He just leaves. So Hogan's taken out. Savage is taken out on the outside. It leaves Austin and Rock, and Austin would receive the equivalent 2-3 rock bottoms like in real life by The Rock, and Rock pins Austin to win the match and win night one of WrestleMania, and ends night one of WrestleMania 19 with a fist basically raising up in the air. But at the same time, he would still do it, even as a heel, would still hug Austin as he leaves. Rock would surprisingly win the match. Sorry. Rock would win the match and would actually leave the arena first. And afterwards, camera stopped rolling, but on the equivalent of YouTube, Austin would basically leave to his own team songs while shaking the hands of Hogan and Savage. So, because Austin's retiring after that match. And that's how it would end WrestleMania 1991. Night two of WrestleMania, I would have basically started with the Cruiserweight title, Matt Hardy versus Kidman versus Chavo Guerrero versus Rey Mysterio. Rey wins. Yeah, I saved you there. Then, I would have gone, rather than getting a boring match between Undertaker against Big Show and A-Train, I would have a tag team match with Undertaker and his partner, who surprisingly is a good face, Undertaker and Sean O'Haire, with that gimmick, like I'm not telling you anything you didn't already know, taking on Big Show and A-Train. Undertaker and A-Train win. Sorry, Undertaker and Sean O'Haire win, and after the match, Sean O'Haire turns against Taker, creating a feud. So if Taker has to go over, well, Sean O'Haire's not there for long, and Sean O'Haire's a WrestleMania moment. So why not? Third match of the night for the United States title, you have Chris Benoit defending against Eddie Guerrero. Eddie Guerrero wins the U.S. title. Afterwards, for the World Tag Team titles, you have the Dudleys versus Sean Morley, and not Sean, and Lance Storm. I want the Dudleys to win. Like, to finally hit the 10th World Tag Team titles. Like, they would hit, that would be the 10th World Tag Team titles, and basically be the only team to ever win the World Tag titles 10 times. So that'd be my fifth match. Sorry, what's my fifth match? Sorry, it was my fourth match. My fifth match is Shawn Michaels, Chris Jericho. I leave it exactly the way it was in real life. Shawn wins. And the aftermath stays the same, with Jericho kneeling Michaels in the groin afterwards. In the penultimate match, yeah, it's a brouhaha. It's basically helter-skelter there. But I thought all of them deserve to have a spot on the card. It'll be Tommy Dreamer, Goldust, Test, and Scott Steiner against 3 Minute Warning and Rodney Mack. And I want the face to win there, because I didn't see the point if not. And the main event, WWE Championship, is Kurt Angle against Brock Lesnar. And like in real life, Brock Lesnar wins. But this time he hits the shooting star press 1, 2, 3, and that's it. So that'd be my WrestleMania 19. Let me know what you think in the comments down below. Catch you guys later.